Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands. In this world, justice for all. Reach your neighbors. You do. Welcome, everybody. Today's member highlight. Whoops, I'm sorry. Rookie. Invocation today will be offered by Chris Brown. Thank you.
Bow our heads. We are grateful, our Father, for the privilege of training ourselves for service. Give us open minds, a clear understanding, and a steady purpose to make the most of our talents and lead us into the fields of work where we can best serve. Amen.
Thank you, Chris. Al, Rotarians, welcome today. Today's member highlight. This Rotarian is now retired, but she was the executive director of Main Street. That everybody's wondering who this is today. No, it's just a good thing. At the urging of the longtime Wooster Rotary treasurer Lee Call, she joined the club in 1988. She was also the publisher of the Wooster Rotary newsletter for a few years back when there was one. She resides in Worcester with her husband, Gary, has 2 grown children and 5 grown grandchildren. This Rotarian began her theater acting career when she was 15. She is now continuing her theater career today by helping to revitalize the Lyric Theater in downtown Worcester. Today's member highlight is Sandra Hall. Now I'll turn it over to Secretary Lynn for the Secretary's report.
Thank you, President Tom. Jill Monroe has the traveling microphone, and we're going to start with our exchange students, Viteri and Hannah. Welcome to you both. Viteri, you want to start? You can tell us about your weekend. You already told me about some of the fun things you did.
Well, good morning. Nice to see everybody. My name is Viteri. I'm from Ecuador, and I'm gonna be here for a year studying exchange. I like soccer.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Those who don't know me, my name is Hannah. I'm an exchange student from Uganda.
Yeah, it'd be great.
I'm not the fun type of person, so I didn't do much except homework. Yeah. So, but I was really engaged with my host family. We baked, played games, went for walks, made art pieces. Yeah, we stuck around the house, but they're not that good. Okay, only mine. Yeah, I had fun this weekend, and I'm ready for another round of homework.
Thank you. Sandra Hall.
My guest today is Greg Shia, professor at the College of Worcester and the chairman of the Lyric Theater.
Please welcome. Mike Stevenson.
This is my lovely wife, Moira. She works for Main Street Wooster as a program director.
And just to note, all of you have a flyer at your table for an important event that is happening today. Thank you, President.
Thank you, Lynn. Welcome guests. Hope you enjoyed today's program in the Fellowship of Rotary, and please know that you're always welcome to return. Today's speaker host is Dan Freeman. I'll turn over the podium to Dan.
Thank you. I'm pleased and honored today to introduce our two speakers. First speaker is Jeremy Thomas. Jeremy has an excellent background in theater and theater business. He has worked for Cinemark for over 26 years. As a general manager, he operated theaters in Worcester, Bowling Green, Macedonia, Canton, and North Canton. He championed the idea that transformed Cinemark Movies 10 in Canton to Cinemark Movie Bistro. He was a tenured member of the prestigious President's Gold Club and winner of numerous awards for exceptional internal audits, film promotions, food and beverage promotions, and customer service. He won Promoter of the Year at Cinemark and was a Project Picture winner through movie studios. Jeremy loves leading and developing teams. He trained 9 people that became general managers at Cinemark. He traveled throughout Ohio and beyond, completing comprehensive assessments, testing, and training future general managers for Cinemark. He served on 2 focus groups to improve efficiencies and workflow at his company, and he presented twice at Cinemark's General Manager Convention about leadership, hiring, and training. He has certifications in, and this for what the Lyric wants to do, this is very important what I see here. He has certifications in safe food handling, safe alcohol service, active threat response, CPR, and more. So well-versed in background needed for what the Lyric wants to do. Jeremy is a lifelong lover of films and Cleveland sports. He has served as a volunteer coach, soccer, basketball, softball for the past 17 years. He has also volunteered at various community organizations and churches in Stark County. He and his wife have 4 daughters and a grandson, all living under one roof. AJ Lammers is a seasoned expert in commercial construction management with over 20 years experience in the industry. His career spans a diverse range of projects, including large-scale nursing and assisted living facilities, site development, and heavy highway construction. Prior to joining Freeman Building Systems, AJ worked for probably one of the largest excavating contractors in the state of Ohio. He was the guy when they had a project with a problem, they were going to send him out to get it fixed. For the past 4 years, AJ has filled his role leading operations at Freeman Building Systems, where he has contributed to the company's growth and success. From an early age, AJ's passion for construction problem solving was evident on his family farm through various residential construction roles. This early exposure fueled his ambition to merge innovative problem-solving skills with tangible satisfaction of building. To formalize his expertise, AJ pursued and obtained a degree in civil engineering from the University of Toledo, followed up with an MBA from Bowling Green State University, and he has obtained his license, so he is a licensed professional engineer. It's fun to watch AJ. He's dedicated to fostering top-level communication with all project stakeholders, aiming to streamline the complexities of large-scale construction projects. His leadership is characterized by a commitment to excellence and a collaborative approach that ensures that all project goals are met efficiently. Beyond his professional achievements, AJ's greatest build is at home, where he lives with his wife, Stacy, and their 7 children. His dedication to his family mirrors his commitment to his work, bringing a unique blend of personal and professional experience to every endeavor. When AJ and I first started talking 5 years ago about coming to work with us at Freeman Building Systems, the discussion was, well, AJ, we're a $12 to $15 million company. geez, if we could get to 17, 18, that'd be great. I can tell you that AJ and his project management team last year successfully completed over 60 million worth of construction. So kudos to AJ and what he's doing, and he is now a part of and will be a part of future leadership at Premium Building Systems. So it's my pleasure to introduce both Jeremy Thomas, AJ Monks.
Hello, Jeremy Thomas, Managing Director of the Lyric Theater. Thank you so much for having me today. Let's take a look at what's happening at the Lyric. All right. So the vision of the theater. We envision a space where people can come and experience the art of storytelling in the most profound and innovative forms. We want to be a community hub, a catalyst for cultural engagement and an artistic exploration. Be a beacon for the arts where creativity flourishes. An anchor for downtown Worcester, making a significant economic impact, and be a cornerstone for a future arts district. Our mission is to entertain, educate, and enrich our community. Here are the plans for success. We have to provide a great experience, one that people go and tell their friends and family about, one that people will go on Twitter and different social media places and share their experience. We're going to partner and collaborate with local organizations, curate a diverse programming model. We do have we will have our full liquor license, and to go with the best seats in town. Here's some of our recent work. We finalized the design of the exterior and auditorium spaces, and we're working on the final design for the lobby and the lounge right now. Our building plans and the designs have been approved by the City Design and Review Board, as well as the Health Department, and we received our permits. Inside the building, the building has been framed. On the outside, the exterior has been painted, and we have new storefront windows and doors. We have our interior mechanical work underway, and I think it was last week we received our plumbing, the okay on our plumbing. It passed inspection. And then we purchased theater equipment, lots of different theater equipment, from seats to signage, point of sale equipment, live sound and lighting equipment, and so much more. Okay. So what's next? Our number one goal for 2024 is to have a red carpet grand opening this December. To get there, we intend to finalize our funding, develop plans for engaging programming, launch our membership and sponsorship programs, and hire and train a staff. Here's a look at programming plans. On the film side, we're going to be playing mainstream movies, independent films, classic films, foreign language, and documentaries, planning to host Q&As with filmmakers, and we're going to have the technology that we can do that remotely. So if there's a foreign language film with a filmmaker in France, we could set that up and we could do that on the screen. We plan to have monthly children's programming and some accessibility programming as well, like sensory showings and open caption showings. And then some craft cinema, hopefully monthly, to go with some holiday series and film festivals and more. Event cinema, we're going to play National Theater Live, recorded events, and then exhibition on screen, which is curated art exhibits. Science on screen in collaboration with College of Worcester and Ohio State and some others. And then with some adventure series like rock climbing, trail running, mountain biking, surfing, and so much more. And then on the live events, a lot of these things we hope to do monthly. So live music, bringing in someone national or regional to perform at the Lyric, local musicians, jazz, comedy and improv nights, even potentially a Magic Monday with a magician, open mic nights, dance classes, TED style talks, and black box theater to go along with many other things that we're discussing and developing. And here is a look at our plans. You can see on the right, you'll see the East Theater, which is the large auditorium. It's going to have about 101 seats in there. We'll get into what seats we're going to have here, but the right side, you got the East, about 101, and then you have and that has a stage. We'll have stage lighting in there as well. The left side, the West Theater has a stage as well, also has stage lighting, has a flat floor in the center. You can see some couches in there, and we'll have flexible seating in there. We can move things out and in, and it could be a standing room for a larger concert. It could be a great spot for a dance class. And then the smaller one in the bottom left corner is our screening room that seats just over 20 people. All three spaces will be great for rentals, parties, things like that. We'll have the technology. If you rent the space, you'll get like an iPad and you can pause a movie, adjust the sound, raise the lighting. So here is the exterior right now from the corner of South and Market. You can see it's been painted. It's missing our marquee and some siding that's going to be coming in the next couple of weeks. Here's the rendering, the architectural rendering of what it's going to look like, with a really nice marquee anchoring the corner, digital signage that we can put up what we have showing what's coming, and also include sponsors. Here's a view from South Street, the front entrance. That's right now, and then the rendering of what it's going to look like. Inside, this is our lobby and lounge space. Up those couple steps there, that's the lounge, and right to the right is the concession stand. Here's the rendering. Now this is a piece that I said we're working on, so the interior design of this, but the bones and a lot of the pieces are going to stay the same. This is the East Theater, the larger of the three auditoriums. In the center, we have red reclining seats. On the sides, there's black recliners that have tray tables and articulating armrests. These are going to be a great date night seat. In the front, on the sides, there's 4 booths that will seat 4 to 5 people. They're L-shaped with a coffee table. And in the back, you can see a couple, in the corners, there are high top tables. This is a view from the back. You can see the stage up front. This one is the West Auditorium. And then a view from the back of the West. You can see the couches, the stage. This one we have a really nice plush rocker seat. We wanted to maximize this space as much as we could. From the front, these are going to have, they're called snuggle loungers. These are going to have tray tables as well and ottomans. Here is our screening room. You can see there's, in some of these photos, there's work going on, so that's exciting to see. And here's a view from the back of the screening room. This is going to have all recliners with tray tables as well. It's just over 20 seats. And then a view of the actual snuggle lounger this is going to be pretty much what it looks like. The colors aren't correct on these. So on the right, you can see the rockers. These will be black. And on the left, the recliner will have some black and some red. We have, one thing I forgot to mention in the programming side is we do get a couple grants, one from Ohio Arts Council that will sponsor our sensory programming, and another one from the Frick Family Foundation that is Worcester Children's Film Festival in collaboration with Worcester City Schools and the New York International Children's Film Festival. So look at our board, and I will say a lot of them are in this room, but this is a very active, very hardworking board that got this off the ground and hired me for my dream job. But yeah, they're very active and have done a great job. It's been great to partner with them. Thank you so much, and we'll see you at the Lyric. I guess, we're afternoon now, so good afternoon. I just want to echo, Jeremy's sentiments as far as a very hardworking board. My interaction, with Jeremy and the entire, group of people have come together for this. It's quite the undertaking that I think, as I go through this, I really wanted to focus on not just a show and tell, here's some pictures, really lessons learned. I would be up here lying to you all if, we have done this excellently, but the second time I get to do this project, we'll have it all figured out. So with that, I'll jump right in. Couple of the same renderings Jeremy shared. Really the first thing I wanted to touch on was, if you focus on what our hedgehog concept is, we go back to every time what we're good at. Haven't done any theaters. And so why? Why did we get involved in the first place? Why? Genuinely, this has been a partnership relationship. It hasn't been a mass production job by any means. And really the first time we met with the selection committee, it was a shared vision. That room got excited as we started talking about what this could be. And I knew from our experience, if we weren't excited about it, we weren't going to be the right contractor for the job. So that aligned, definitely some priorities, that comes from the top within us. We wanted to be a part of the community, this opportunity to step into a project that was going to be a real anchor, as, Jeremy laid out for the community. We want to be part of that. And then really, our comfortability level of, hey, we want to just be an open book, open budget, approach, because you guys have a lot of decisions to make, or the board had a lot of decisions to make. And really wanted to arm them with the opportunity as far as the bang for the buck mentality. Hey, we can do this. There's a lot we can do. Extensive conversations the board has taken on as far as we could do this, we could do that. But ultimately it comes down to what their vision is and what they can afford. So it was a different delivery model than our normal. And certainly our appreciation for the project has only grown through that experience. Biggest part of this is when we decided to go into this partnership, the stakeholders that were involved. This is by no means an exhaustive list. So if your organization is not up there, I apologize. I was just putting up, but there's far too many to even picture on a slide. But our level of intimacy with this project and the duration by which we had to get on board, and then a lot of things happening in the background. It really put us hand in hand with managing some of these relationships. I'd be remiss to not bring up Vince Mariola Construction. They've been right there with us since the beginning, filling in some of the weaknesses we had as a contractor. And then obviously the public, the film industry in general that Jeremy brought to the table. A lot of the board put a lot of time into capturing, brought different nuances to this thing that it really turned into more collaborative meetings, not just a, hey, update, this is where we're at, this is what we need from you, whole lot of back and forth. So really why I bring that all up is it turned into, and probably learning curve for us as well, this type of project required even construction is communication game. A project in itself is just customer service, depending on what their goals are. This particular project, just communicate more. And I wish I could say we excelled at the beginning. We had to learn. We had to learn through this type of project, this community involvement, this funding stream. That we really wanted to step into and do it well. So we've been learning along the way, along with an organization that's put together of non-builders for the most part. So together we had to learn how to navigate this relationship and navigate this project. So I really wanted to highlight that. Challenges as we went into the actual construction side of things. It is a pre-engineered building that we began with, pre-engineered in the mainframes and then a lot of masonry around that. We would not reproduce this building in this day and age. Cost structure is much different. So from our experience, yay, we've got a pre-engineered building. That's what we know how to do. Well, it certainly was a limiting factor in some of the things that they wanted to do to the structure. And then obviously it's an older building. It's been sitting there for a while, either not being utilized or a totally different utilization. So we had a lot of shell concerns, moisture issues that we just need to walk through. So you layer that with budget constraints. Came in a lot to the back and forth. And then it's a different model versus maybe a for-profit private entity as far as decision-making and all the stakeholders and everyone's goals and getting those to align. It's not a bad thing, it's just different. So there had to be a lot of flexibility, and I bring up that communication aspect over and over again. So Jeremy alluded to it. Where are we right now? Biggest thing wrapped up the underground plumbing, rough ends going on. Front of the building is starting to change, which is exciting. We've got a busy couple months in front of us. That is for sure. So really the parts of the project that I really wanted to hit on from both a management and a lessons learned side of things is number one, the communication upon communication upon communication. And that unifying vision and creating urgency. If I had to do it all over again to where we are today, by no means are we complete, but really holding all the stakeholders with unifying that vision, creating that urgency all the way through. We had everything from AODK on the side, on the design side of things. We're pricing things in the background. The board's juggling a lot of different decisions, different vendors, different expertise they're reaching out to. Unifying all those was really a work in progress. Everybody learning on the fly with a ton of information. So I don't think there's a perfect way to execute that, but we found our groove and what worked for us. Issues and delays happen. Certainly when we started off on this journey, we wanted to be further along than we are right now. But I think at the core of it, everyone would come with solutions when they had an issue, so we could talk about it. And then really that last piece of it, the flexibility. So there seems to be a consultant and expert for a lot of this, which thank goodness, because I certainly have found out through the process and from my vantage point that I knew very little when it came to acoustics, when it came to the people that are experts in laying out a bar area or a warming kitchen, and really the audio video side of things as this came together. So really that flexibility where, hey, here's a new idea, let's vet it, give the board an opportunity to decide if that's a path they want to go, provide that support, both costing and timing information. And really that flexibility along with that communication is the reason why we even are where we are today. By no means have we perfected the skill yet, but we certainly have some momentum going on the physical construction side of things, which from my vantage point is the most exciting part. So with that, that's my main points I wanted to hit on. I guess we'll open it up for questions.
One thing I did hear was parking. Do you have a parking lot that will service the theater, or how much parking is available for it?
So there's not a dedicated parking lot, but there's the public lots right beside the building. We're gonna have different things mapped out on our website, so any visitors that are coming know how to plan their visit. So we'll use the Main Street map that they have for different parking options. So yeah, there should be plenty of parking in the evenings, especially.
Jerry, would you like to speak to the current state of fundraising and what partnerships you may be looking to add and what the membership structure might look like?
Sure, yeah. Fundraising, we're a few $100,000 away from our goal. They've done a great job. I think we're over 2.8 million in fundraising. With any project, there's different surprises. So I think our total budget is like 3.15, something like that. So there is a gap still. We're looking for grants and all sorts of things. On the making partnerships, places like Wayne Center for the Arts, we just had a whole group of different WAC Pack, different groups that came through that do live performances last Wednesday. So anybody local in the community that wants to, be involved in the project, we want to have conversations with. We're definitely cultivating a lot of those relationships now. But yeah, the College of Worcester is one. But I have a great connection there with students, a place they can come and see a show or volunteer or put on a performance. But yeah, the sky's the limits really on the partnerships. On the membership side, there'll be a couple different tiers. One is going to be a free option. Every time you come, you spend $1, you get a point, you can redeem those points. The other tiers are going to be one that's going to be like $10 and you'll get a free movie and percentage off concessions. And then one's going to be like $20 and you're going to get 4 free movies a month. Not quite unlimited, but you can see a movie every week or 4 a month, plus concession discounts. And then there'll be a higher end one that's more of a donor level sponsorship, donor or membership. And then sponsorships, we have, you can sponsor a film. It could be a new movie, a classic film. It could be a series of, the Christmas series or Halloween series. So lots of different things like that.
What's the capacity of the West? Been about
The West for movies, it's going to be about 65. We are learning, we'll learn once we're a little bit further along in what we can get in that space. It'll probably be around 100. If it's standing room, it'll be more than that.
do you plan on doing film festivals with theme, like Tom Hanks Film Festival or something like that?
Yeah, I mean, many different series options, like a Tom Hanks series. Festivals, there's a couple different models we've looked at that are exciting. These are going to be a year or two down the road, most likely, but one could be like a 48-hour film fest. We're working with, different people in the community that put together, they make a film over the weekend, write it, shoot it, edit it, and then submit it. Others might be basically picking the movies that won at other film festivals around the world and playing those over the course of a week or a weekend.
Could you speak to operating budget and staffing needs?
Sure. The goal is to be sustainable. But we know there's going to be, years like we just came out of that are going to be tough. We're going to need, heavy sponsorship and membership. But yeah, we're going to have 2 full-time staff members, me and one other, like a theater manager, and then probably 10 to 12 part-time employees, and a lot of volunteer opportunities if anybody's looking for a space to volunteer.
Okay, Jeremy, in appreciation with your time with us, with this rendition of the Rotary Wheel made by the students at the Village Network. Thank you. So in addition to almost skipping over the invocation today, I also almost skipped over our classification talk. So I think we have enough time to squeeze that in. Jeff, if you're still willing, give your classification talk. Jeff Derlin.
All right, I guess I'm standing between you guys and getting out of here. So it's interesting, when I heard about the classification talk, I thought back to 2005 when I joined the Solon Rotary, and I don't remember it. And then I thought maybe it's the fact that I have to talk about myself for a few minutes in a large audience that just completely blocked from my mind. But very interested to spend a few minutes. This is ultimately the goal, to get to know all of you much better as fellow Rotarians. But my name is Jeff Derlin. When I looked at the kind of the criteria for today's discussion, first thing was like, why do you do what you do? And probably for all of you in this room, it was family that came up. And so in the bottom, I guess, right-hand corner, there's a picture of my family, my wife, Missy, my oldest son, Tyler, my youngest son, Carson, anchored in the backdrop as a porta-john. But it was a great opportunity for us to celebrate a significant milestone in our lives when we moved back to Ohio in 2019. We're at the Ohio State game. They won big. It was a great day. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. But in the top right-hand corner, it's my oldest son, Tyler, again. For obvious reasons, I can't be at his job as a welder taking pictures. So I anchored his picture with a couple of his recent welds. He graduated from the Hobart Institute of Welding just a few years ago, and in Hoover before that. And then on the left-hand side, that's our son, Carson. We dropped him off at Northwood University just over 2 weeks ago. That's a picture of him at practice, getting ready to throw a ball. Thankfully, he chose a school in the GMAC, which is a lot of games in Ohio. So they play Walsh, Ashland, if you're familiar, Findlay, Tiffin. So a lot of games within 2 hours. So we have to watch him keep going in his football career as well as his academic career. So, and then my wife, Missy, teacher by trade, works for Trecca, which is an online school, and her primary responsibility is work with truancy kids. So basically getting kids re-engaged with the education system and their program to get them through school, leveraging their parents and teachers. So that's why I do what I do. A little bit about what I do. I am a corporate banker with PNC Bank. I started in this role just a few months ago in June. But I have not been, I've been with PNC Bank, it'll be 20 years in February. So I thought I could represent this by a couple of roles that I spent the most time in my career. So in the bottom right-hand corner, we lived in Florida for 12 years. And I kind of mentioned this earlier, back in 19, we relocated to Ohio, which is where I'm from and my wife is from. But I used to cover the branch network, and I was responsible for the sales and service performance of about 200 branches across Florida. And then in 19, had the opportunity to move back home, which was a big move for us, but you can kind of see that was my area before. So I had the Midwest states, roughly 800 branches. And then through a series of events in our lives, we lost my mother and father-in-law, my mother-in-law just a few months ago. I think my wife and I realized that traveling around, moving would have been, we've had 5 moves in my career, probably didn't make sense for us. And so we had an opportunity to kind of anchor down, build our roots in North Canton. My wife's from Akron. So this is my current makeup right here. So I cover these counties. Predominantly, I'm in Wayne and Holmes, with a fairly significant portion of clients in Ashland and Medina. I have a few in Stark and Richland. And what I do is I work with clients between 5 and 50 million in annual sales. And you can probably understand there's quite a bit of intricacies to their businesses. So I serve as the point person. I do all the lending, but then I get them matched up with the 20+ partners that I have that kind of support those organizations. And so happy to be able to stay at home. If you're stuck with me as a client or become one in the future, you probably got me for about 20 years. So know that going in. The last thing I'll end with is, why Rotary, why Wooster? My boss, Joe Luckring, some of you may know him, he used to cover this area. He's been with the bank 34 years out of Massillon. Talked so highly about the Wooster Rotary and the significant role you guys play in the community. So after hearing that and then meeting Dee Badia, thank you, Dee, he's my sponsor. That's why I'm here today. And hearing Dee's testimonial of what you all do for the community, it was a no-brainer. Similar to all of you in this room, I feel like I was put here to serve others. And so this is my opportunity to make a contribution to the Worcester community, and look forward to serving with all of you. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeff. And please know that my oversight earlier today had nothing to do with the fact that you work for a competing bank. So, with that, next week, there is no meeting. Happy Labor Day, everybody. The next meeting will be on September 9th, and James Fox will be giving us an update on student scholarships. And we'll be hearing about the Wayne County Visitor and Convention Bureau, and that will be hosted by Marty Starkey. So with that, we are adjourned. Thank you.